A shakeup within the NFC East with obviously two of the best players on two different franchises that potentially might not be playing for their franchises this season. And we're going to be talking about the safety position too, because Reed Blankenship's contract is up after this year. And these other safeties really have to pull in for Vic Fangio before things get really messy. And we're here to talk about that. So let's get straight into it all.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope it's having a fantastic day. Hope everyone's doing well. So, obviously, we have another day of camp today, but obviously from some news the last couple of days. And a theory of mine that I've kind of been looking at for a while, and a contract extension that's coming up soon that I totally forgot about. And we're talking about Reed Blankenship, because this is the last year in Philadelphia before he becomes an unrestricted free agent after the 2025 season. Now, Reed Blankenship was undrafted, a few years ago, and really got his shot, I think, in 22. I think when Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got hurt in the Green Bay game against Aaron Rodgers, and then they put Reed Blankenship into the game, got a pick on Aaron Rodgers, and really, enough said, that was really the start of his time in Philadelphia. And over the past few years, I've really never been like a really big Reed Blankenship fan, where I thought his coverage ability was kind of suspect at times. But let me tell you, he really has become a very good in the box type safety, especially with his tackling. That's very A plus, and I think he just brings some leadership to this team as well. A lot of players have really looked up to this kid as well the last couple of years. His work ethic, embracing the franchise, and now a Super Bowl champion is probably the best feeling for him in the world. Now, Reed Blankenship signed an extension last year in 2024 on a one-year deal, which really didn't cost that much, not really getting paid as a high-price safety right now, and all things could change after the 2025 season when his contract is up. This safety position has been a weird one for us really since the 2025 offseason, after Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was traded for Kenyon Green, saving some cap the next couple of years, whatever was going on behind the scenes with Chauncey. And I think there's a lot of things we don't know that's still not being told to why he was released, why they didn't just keep him for another year. So getting rid of him just created another hole for the Philadelphia Eagles, and then it became your biggest need of the 25 offseason, especially in the draft, where they went to the second round and went to go draft, Andrew Makuba. Now that Andrew Makuba is slowly coming back, it is on a limited participant in practice, and hopefully this week he will be back in a few days. I don't know if he'll be eligible to play in the preseason game this week. We're just hoping that because he's a big-time hitter, he's a very physical player, and obviously coverage on the back end will be so much better with him. I'm hoping that this isn't going to affect his play because of his size. The last thing you really want is a rookie player to, miss a lot of time in the offseason program, because if you're not getting the physical reps, you're not going to play. And then you have Sidney Brown that's kind of sitting back here, since he really hasn't played, or it really hasn't been a starter since 2023, literally in a different scheme, and came off an ACL injury, and just played special teams last year, came in for a couple plays at the end of a couple games, missed some tackles, and everybody was kind of hating on him a little bit. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not saying that his coverage isn't suspect, and I think, if they start Trishan McCollum over Sidney Brown, it really tells you a lot. Now Sidney Brown comes into this training camp now fully healthy, staying healthy throughout the process, and to see if, can he survive in Vic Fangio's defense and really become the starter. Because really behind both of those guys, there's really nobody there that is really eye-opening at this point. And yes, Justin Simmons is still out there, and I think that is literally the last desperation move. If you want to go out and get him, and I'm not really a big fan of it. The Eagles haven't really done that, especially Vic Fangio first coming here. He's never brought players that really played under him, or he was successful with in the past, which I have to respect him for that. He really took the players that were already here and just transformed and just got more production out of everybody. He's been a fantastic coach, and this would be the first time he would get a player that's, that he's worked with in the past, that's especially 32 years old, and not really a big fan of it. But if it was the last sentiment to do it, then I would probably do it. And just say, even after the 25 season, if Andrew Makuba plays well, if Sidney Brown is a backup and maybe he plays well, will the Eagles actually re-sign Reed Blankenship? Not really sure. You have a lot of other contracts you really have to worry about, Jalen Carter being one of them, and probably the highest paid DT in the league at this point. Then you have to figure out a couple others when it comes to Nolan Smith really soon. You got to figure out Quinyon Mitchell. You have to figure out Cooper DeJean down the road. Remember, Cooper DeJean doesn't have he's on a first-round pick, so he doesn't have a fifth-year option. You got to figure out Nakobe Dean as well, especially if they put him on the PUP list, beginning of the season, misses 5 to 7 weeks, and that if he comes back later, what is the future of Nakobe Dean in this linebacker core? And the linebacker core in this camp right now is one of the strongest we've ever had. There's a lot of Eagle fans that say that, of course, they're going to re-sign him. Why wouldn't they? But for me, I think it's a big question mark. I think it really relies on Makuba. It relies on Sidney Brown and a lot more at that position. If they have to go out and add a veteran before the start of the season, then I feel like, yeah, sure. I think they will re-sign him, by the end of 25 and kind of get that locked up. I don't know how much the contract would be at this point. I forgot what safety's really running for in the market right now, but it's obviously really high. And since he won a Super Bowl, and if he plays another good year this year, it might be a pretty high price. So I think we have to be really patient with that and see how the safety position really pans out for the 2025 season. Now, I want to talk about, obviously the NFC East dealing with some issues right now. The Giants, not so much. The Cowboys and the Washington Commanders, okay? With Micah Parsons right now, and this is me being an unbiased Eagle fan because I'm not really here to trash them, even though it's nice that they're dealing with a lot of stuff. And this is midseason form for the Dallas Cowboys. And Micah Parsons kind of just went on social media a couple of days ago and pretty much said he was done in Dallas. And he was, he already sent in a text to Stephen Jones that he's demanding a trade and he doesn't want to play for the Cowboys. And honestly, this team has been known for flaunting their dirty laundry in public. And, the owner is bashing the player. The player's on the field before practice, bashing the ownership, the front office, everything like that. We know the Cowboys will never be anything in this league, whether the Jones are pretty much in control of this franchise for a long time, and things are not changing anytime soon. Obviously, there was some back and forth between Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones apparently in the office, and one side thought there was a negotiable contract. The other side didn't think there was any negotiations really happening, and pretty much Micah Parsons' agent was calling Jerry Jones, and it looks like Jerry Jones didn't even take any phone calls. So that's massive disrespect on his case. I think this has been building up with Micah Parsons for a long time. You are going into your fifth-year option. No franchise out there lets a player hit their fifth-year option without an extension, especially the best player on that team, on that franchise right now. Total disrespect. I don't blame Micah Parsons for being pissed off at all because realistically, just say he says, you know what, I'm just going to play. And if he plays and he gets hurt, goodbye extension. He will literally fuck himself over pretty much. The smartest thing that he should do right now, sit home, train, get prepared, get ready, let your agent take over this whole entire situation, and don't play one snap for the Dallas Cowboys until they give you an extension. Ultimately, could the Dallas Cowboys get something done? I mean, sure, I guess so, but I mean, this has gone off the rails for a while now, and I kind of saw this coming from a mile away. I mean, Jerry Jones is talking about not paying guys because they're missing time because of injuries, but you'll pay Dak Prescott a lot of money coming off an injury. Even Ferguson, the tight end that just got a big deal, I think he's been hurt in the past as well, so he's missed some time. They still give him a contract. There's rumors right now that Deron Bland is going to get a contract, and he's been one of the most shitty corners in their camp as their number one, literally right now in training camp. So with Micah Parsons, do not play another down for the Dallas Cowboys unless they give you an extension. And the positive side about the Cowboys going to the season with this type of stuff with Micah Parsons is they can get a lot of picks for him. They can get an automatic first-round pick and more, and then some. Maybe 2 first-round picks, maybe a first and 2 seconds. I don't know, but they will get a big haul for Micah Parsons to whoever trades for him. As for him coming to the Philadelphia Eagles, no. He's not cutting in front of a lot of these other contracts that are going to get signed, and Howie Roseman is not in the market to pay a guy this minute right now. And to me, I've never been in that fan speculation of, oh, he wants to come to Philly and all that bullshit. I've never been really into that. So that's really the news on Micah Parsons. A lot of bad things going on in Dallas. Now, it looks like we talk about the Washington Commanders now with Terry McLaurin, their star wide receiver. This is a guy that's been through the highs and lows of that franchise, okay? He's going to be turning 30 years old in September, okay? They had over $90 million in cap space last year, okay? Signing guys, they want to get younger. I get that. Jaden Daniels really doesn't have anybody to grow with. And I understand the whole point of not paying a player at 30 years old, $30+ million with 5-6 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. And a lot of receivers can't do that. Terry McLaurin has been the best. I don't know why you trade for Deebo Samuel at 30 years old and have to pay a nice sum, whether they restructured or whatnot. It was like $20 to $22 million still. I mean, that's a big chunk of change for a receiver that hasn't been healthy the last few years and is one of the biggest complainers in the league. And you lose Terry McLaurin, you're going to be screwed. The reports were coming out that, the Washington Commanders were worrisome about, paying guys big money at an old age. And like now they're worried about paying guys at an old age. What are you talking about? You guys have the oldest roster in the league right now. I mean, realistically, like you're paying Bobby Wagner $10 million for 1 year. I mean, why are you paying all these other guys like big chunks like that? But when it comes to your star wide receiver, you don't even want to pay him. If Washington loses Terry McLaurin already requested a trade. I mean, literally, it's just really keeping the Washington Commanders pressured to really sign him to big money. Otherwise, he's going to miss practice. He's not going to be there for the team. And, there's no loyalty in this league. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how if you look at the Eagles wide receivers, I said they wouldn't sign A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith at the same time. I mean, Devontae Smith's not even paid as a top 15 wide receiver right now. A.J. Brown is literally the 13th highest paid wide receiver in the league right now. It's actually really sad, but it's really good for Howie Roseman. Jalen Hurts took less money for other guys to get paid. Devontae Smith took less money for other guys to get paid. I mean, the selfless attitudes that we have on this team is absolutely ridiculous. And there's nothing wrong for Terry McLaurin wanting the money that he wants. Trust me on that. Same thing with the Hassan Reddick situation. He deserved more than $15 million on his last year of his deal. He deserved a lot more with double-digit sack seasons for 3-4 years consecutively. That's hard to do. Nobody can do that. The Eagles made the A.J. Brown trade. Washington has not made that eye-opening holy crap move that made you kind of sit back and say, wow, they mean business. I think passing up on not trading for DK Metcalf, I think was one of the one of the biggest mistakes that they made. They played it safe, and they have a GM that just plays safe and cautious. And if you're safe and cautious and all you want to do is bring back familiar faces that was with you last year because you made an NFC championship game, you beat one team over 500 last year, and when you beat the Eagles without Jalen Hurts with 5 turnovers, congratulations, you just got rocked in the NFC championship game where you really deserved it. That's all I got to say about the Washington Commanders. Terry McLaurin is a class act player. He's a very big class act guy. He's one of my favorite wide receivers of the league, honestly, and should deserve to get paid. And somebody will give him that money. Somebody will go out there. That's why the Eagles don't pay players at 30 years old. You're not paying somebody $30+ million as a wide receiver at 30. I get the point of view of the Washington front office. They don't want to pay him that at 30 years old, but why are you worrying about the age of a player now? I mean, you should have thought about this before training camp started. I mean, did you not think he was going to hold out if you weren't going to pay him? I mean, come on now. He doesn't want to play on the last year of his contract without a big extension, and I don't blame him for that. But that is the news on the NFC East so far. A lot of drama. Better for the Philadelphia Eagles, and yeah, we're sitting high right now. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about the safety position. Do you think Blankenship will get extended? Does it really depend on how good or bad this safety group is and if they're healthy or not? Do you, support what's going on right now? And how do you feel about Micah Parsons, his situation, Terry McLaurin, that situation, Washington, everything going on in the NFC East, and all the drama that's just going to keep coming the next few weeks? Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. Make sure you hit the like button because it helps out tremendously. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching. Love you all. Shake Squad up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.